Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do a detailed review on this Maxware reusable K-Cup. This is Amazon's #2 best-selling reusable K-Cup, and they're $4 a piece. You get a 2-pack for around $8. So the K-Cup looks like it's very well made. It's got a wire mesh filter. It's got a lid with an O-ring. You close the lid. It seals pretty good. It's got a little cutout here to open it up. It's got a place for the needle on the top. It's got like a diffuser on the top here. Nice big opening. The bottom's got a recessed area. So what's nice about these K-Cups are, these reusable K-Cups are the exact same size as a normal K-Cup. And a normal K-Cup holds 2 tablespoons of coffee, and the bottom gets pierced with a needle, but there's an area for the needle to go in the bottom here. So that's really nice. So on a standard Keurig that has a single needle and the standard needle basket, which this is the K Slim, the K Select, the K Duo, they all have the standard one needle at the top. So what's nice is you can put this K-Cup in, you can leave this needle basket in. On Keurig's K-Cup, you've got their reusable K-Cup that they sell, you got to remove this needle basket, which it's not hard to remove, it's just something extra. So these fit right in there. Make sure it's nice and flush. The center needle is going to go right there. Again, the bottom needle doesn't pierce it. It just sits there, and make sure when you close this, it's nice and easy. It does say it's 100% BPA free. Now, I was telling you earlier, so a standard K-Cup, here's what a standard K-Cup looks like on the inside. I've measured that. That's 2 tablespoons of medium ground coffee, and the coffee grounds sit inside a paper filter. So I cut the bottom off. That's a paper filter like you have on a normal drip coffee maker. That's going to be important later. I'll show you why, because normal K-Cups you don't get sediment in your coffee. But with this one you might get a little bit of sediment. So they do sell paper filters for these reusable K-Cups. My second brew, I'm going to do a reusable filter. But this first brew, now you don't have to use a reusable paper filter with these. This filter will keep out the coffee grounds, but you do get a little bit of sediment. I've measured it. They want you to put 2 tablespoons of coffee. Now, Perfect Pod sells this easy scoop. You can get this at Walmart for like $6 or $7. But Perfect Pod also sells reusable K-Cups that look a little different. I'm going to be doing a comparison video of the top 5 best-selling reusable K-Cups from Amazon. But this video is just going to be on this one here, this Maxware. So this scoop is really nice. You can put it measures 2 tablespoons for you. You put the lid over, and then you can dump it right in. You'd be surprised. It is kind of hard to get the coffee grounds in there. So let's talk coffee grounds now. So they might just say ground coffee. As long as it's ground for like a drip coffee maker, that's a medium grind. That's what we want, is a medium grind. See, this is just Folgers ground coffee. And if you look in there, that's a medium grind. It's not too coarse, it's not too thin or too fine. If it's too fine, it'll clog up and it won't come through the K-Cup. Cost-wise, so you can buy a K-Cup for about 50 cents to 75 cents a piece. This takes 2 tablespoons of coffee grounds, which I've done the math is about 20 to 25 cents, depending on what kind of coffee you get. So it's half the cost of a K-Cup, but there is a little bit more work involved. You know, these are more environmentally friendly. These, you got to recycle the aluminum and the plastic and the coffee grounds, so this can be a little bit more of a hassle. But these you do have to wash out every time, so you do use a little bit of water. So I'm going to use the easy scoop. You just go in, grab your coffee grounds, 2 tablespoons. You put the lid on, you get your K-Cup, and you just dump it right in. Now we don't want any coffee grounds on this lip. We're going to close it. Again, I wish it kind of snapped a little tighter, but it stays closed. Make sure there's no coffee grounds on the outside. They will make it into your drink. Now again, I'm using a K Slim. I've tried this on the K Select. I've tried it on the K Duo. You know, it's hit or miss. Sometimes these reusable K-Cups just don't work in your Keurig machine, and I don't know exactly why. Some of the other, you know, I've tried them in some and they just don't work. You get water that leaks out around the side. So if you have water coming out around your machine instead of out of the where the coffee's coming, that means it's not working properly. So we're going to put the K-Cup in. Again, it should sit nice and flush. The needle's going to come down. It's got a little seal there. It's going to come down. You shouldn't have to force this at all. Now, you can brew these. I brew my K-Cups on 8 ounce. But you can brew it on 10 ounce or 12 ounce. Or if you've got a 6 ounce setting, whatever you like. To me, the 8 ounce is a good tasting brew. Hit the 8 ounce. And we've got our coffee coming right out of where the coffee comes out. We don't want to see any water coming out around here. That means it's not going through the K-Cup. And that can happen. On certain machines, you'll see water dripping out here. And sometimes I see it on my machines that they normally work in. I can't explain it. So towards the end, the water is pretty weak, so they do want you to stir these drinks. There, you've got an 8 ounce cup of coffee. Now this coffee is really hot. I've done a taste test on this. And again, we're going to see this has sediment in it. It tastes really good. I've looked online. It seems like sediment used to be a good thing, but we got kind of away from it with paper filters. So it was just kind of odd when I first saw it. I don't know if sediment is good or bad, but I am here just to show you that you do get a little bit of sediment at the bottom of your glass. So these reusable K-Cups make very nice cups of coffee. Let's go over cleanup now. Be careful, these can be hot. And sometimes you do get a little bit of water. This one's not too bad. Sometimes you might get a bunch of water up here that didn't go through the K-Cup, and then it starts leaking out around the machine. This one did fine. Again, this is the K Slim. I've tried it on the K Select, the K Classic it works, the K Mini. So there is this little thing here. There's a little cutout here that you can lift up. So there's how it does the brew. You do get quite a few coffee grounds, but so it does a pretty good job with the coffee grounds. It gets them all nice and saturated. And you do have quite a bit of cleanup work to do. And you will get some coffee grounds down your sink. Okay, so now let's brew another cup of coffee with a paper filter. Now, Perfect Pod makes some. This is a good selling brand on Amazon. You get a bunch of them. They all come kind of pre-formed. Make sure you only grab one. They're real thin, and that's what you want. So again, this is only going to prevent sediment, but you're going to push it in all the way. Make sure it kind of hugs the walls. And it's okay, and you do want a little bit of the paper filter to stick up. When we close this lid, it's going to be sandwiched between there, but you don't want any coffee grounds here. Let's use our Perfect Scoop. Now, I go a little bit less than 2 tablespoons just because that paper filter takes up a little bit of room. So I guess your coffee could be just a little bit weaker. But it just helps because with that paper filter, if you put too much in here, it just becomes kind of a hassle. So again, with one swoop, we're just going to close the lid. Make sure it's nice and tight all the way around. No coffee grounds. Now we're ready to brew a cup of coffee. We're going to put it in like before. 8 ounce. Here's our coffee coming out. Again, make sure it's just coming out where the coffee's supposed to. You don't get any drips coming out around here. Some Keurigs, these K-Cups just don't work in some Keurigs. And you'll just get all kinds of dripping water around here and it makes a mess. So make sure the water's coming out right there. I did get just a few drops coming around it. Let's take a look. Yeah, this one wasn't too bad. Normally if you're getting those drips, you're getting there's this a whole bunch of water, but this one did okay. Again, this is a really good cup of coffee. I don't notice that much of a, the one with sediment does taste a little better to me. Okay, so let's go over cleanup with the filter. Cleanup is a little easier with the filter. You can grab, and be careful, these are hot. You can grab that paper filter. So you do still have to wash the lid, but it kind of helps there. And you can see that paper filter turns brown. That's what prevents the sediment. But it does a good job brewing. Okay, so I'm going to show you in this coffee. This was my first brew without the paper filter. And there's that sediment I was telling you about. So to me, that just was a little shocking at first. I didn't know what was going on. But the more I read about it, it does seem to be okay. And then let's do the one with the paper filter. And you don't get any sediment at all. So this is a very nice reusable K-Cup. I do like the design of it. I am going to be doing, my next video is going to be a comparison. I've bought the top 5 best-selling reusable K-Cups off of Amazon with paper filters. I'm going to be doing a comparison with all these K-Cups and see which ones I like the best. Thanks everybody for watching, and if you could, please like and subscribe.